Once again, a stray cart. I call it them loose carts around. And, well, speaking of whole natural, I don't really think that's too natural, honestly. I gotta be careful of them watching me record and stuff, because I don't want to get kicked out of these Walmarts. So, I'm only gonna show you stuff that's happening when it's happening. But you just gotta bear with me. If I ever make anything match up, you know I'm not lying. There's no point to. So I found out that, see, now, that's a little bit strange, right? Now, it's once in a while it's okay to be wearing gloves and stuff. I'd say that's more normal. But the thing is that that's not normal when you mix it with the Mickey Mouse shirt. It's like that screams pedophile right to me when I know for a fact that that is a satanic demon monster lizard person. Now bear with me, I found a video that I have that's old, that is literally of a girl that's about 8 years old and she has one red glove on. And her dad was buying gloves and I didn't even know that they were together. I didn't know they were shopping together. And all of a sudden I see them shopping together and I even said, that's it, that's evidence. And I also, you just have to have faith in me. On my old phone, I have pictures of these glasses that I found on the trash near Halloween, around Halloween. And there was like one eye to scare me. And then I started seeing all these signs everywhere about like where I would go to the, I don't know, I'll explain another time because I don't want to go too in depth on that. I'll write some sort of report, a story about it. But yeah, I mean, already a stray cart, and these stores went from being like, 10 or 20% strange and to like 80%. And what I mean by that is it's normal to see stuff misplaced once in a while. Like, let's see about this. Now, I bet that's this guy over here. Oh, it's this guy over there. But, because someone said, you don't think it's normal to have all the stuff misplaced? I would say no. Not when it's specifically to do with me, and it happened in the time it happened. Now, the stores, I notice patterns like no one else. I mean, I literally can notice patterns anywhere. And these stores weren't like this before. Even when I first got here, there wasn't as many people with red hair. There wasn't items misplaced everywhere, and they weren't as strangely misplaced. They weren't randomly misplaced. Now, think about it like this. If you noticed things being misplaced, and you're like, huh, that's weird, and say you had blue hair, and you started seeing more and more people with blue hair, that would be cause for alarm, right? I mean, or at least there's some suspicion. Now, there was a day where I saw Spider-Man over here. Now, oh, what do we have over here? A girl with red hair and a skeleton near the cables. Right when I happened to be talking about the fact that I went over here one day and I saw a Spider-Man outfit near the cables, because I said, what if someone thinks I just put that stuff there to make this place sound creepy or haunted? So now the stores have gone from being at 10 to 20% normal. This is now, again, 30 to 40%, I'd say. Now I'm trying to rate it on some sort of scale so I could go in and say, this store is 10%, this store is 20%, this store is 30, 40, stuff like that. Because I personally don't think it's normal. Now, I know it's not, but I'm just going to say it as if I was one of you. I personally do not think that this is normal. Now, I'd love to know why you think it is, especially with the way it happened. Imagine you know that there's people trying to pretend to be you and your dad and try and make you think you're in a different world, or try and make you think you're in hell already, and try and surround you and intimidate you and make you into a girl and misgender you, and all sorts of crazy stuff like that. And then, all of a sudden, you start noticing more and more things being misplaced around the store, or all the stores you go to, I should say, for that fact, and it's all a peculiar, common theme. Now, I hope you saw the video where the other day, someone was over here, and I'm looking at these books trying to see what's misplaced, what isn't, see if there's any more common themes I can find for us all. And there's a man over here that was looking and there's calendars, and he was misplacing them. And he had one that was of a woman model, and then he looked through a dog one, and then he tapped a Mickey Mouse thing. And then he left one on top that said Bob, because he knows that that name means something to me, if it's one of them, which I know it was. Now, this seems to be not too misplaced, but they know that I'm onto them, but they're in such a state of denial and delusion and hubris that they think that I'll sound schizophrenic or delusional. I mean, I hope I really don't. I know I pause in my speech sometimes. I'm trying to make sure I say this in the best, most properly worded way. And as I'm literally talking about this, the perfect matchbook and the family for beginners, I'm starting to find gloves all over the place again. Already I found 3 gloves today, but one of them was so normal because it was outside of 7-Eleven that I didn't really want to count it as one of those gloves. Because, you know, you go to get the donuts and you need a glove. As I'm talking about this, I see that guy trying to, like, be so obvious about it. I think they're trying to make it look like, that I'm doing it or I'm working with these people. Which I wouldn't doubt if people would believe that and think I'm just some rich person trying to get, you know, what might you people call, like, you know, noticed online. So, that's not what's going on. Now, this doesn't seem too misplaced, but what if you notice? What if you thought that people want to turn you into a little girl or a dog and misgender you and stuff, and all of a sudden, you go over here and you see that next to a glove, and you notice people putting gloves everywhere. Now, imagine you, in your head, think that Satan, the demon monsters, the lizard people, want to make you feel however you make them feel, and all of a sudden you start seeing people with action figures walking around and stuffed animals. And this was before Valentine's Day. And you start noticing. Then another time, I noticed a guy with a belt in his hand, and he was walking to a carriage, put the belt in the carriage, walked away from it, and then went back to it and took it and walked away. And it was the same guy that said to pray to baby Jesus, but he said that, do you ever pray to Satan? And then he also said he was Jewish. Does that all sound natural to you? Now imagine in your head that you think people want to turn you into a little girl or a dog, and you notice that all the movies are normally placed, except for a Barbie one and something next to House. And you know that, and say you're talking about House recently. Now, there was another day where, now obviously once in a while, that would be normal to see a movie misplaced. But honestly, I feel, if you want me to be 100% truly honest, I think they feel like we're Tom and Jerry right now. Where I'm like Jerry to them. Where I keep getting away from them. Or something. And then this one, Dolph Lundgren, Bridge of Origins, The Peacekeeper. Now that seems to be them trying to make me think that they're on my side. They put it next to Avatar. Because I always talk about how I love the movie Avatar. And then all the movies that are different. There's one over here called Looney Tunes, and it's different. Because I always said they're like the Roadrunner. Or not the Roadrunner, I'm like the Roadrunner. And they're like the Wile E. Coyote. Because they keep trying to get me, and it just doesn't work. When I say get me, I mean scare me, intimidate me, lie to me, manipulate me. You know, get me to feel or sway me or move me or manipulate me or make me feel or be any different than I really am. Now I'll explain to you, like one day, all the movies were regularly placed except for the dog. And I said, they're trying to make me into and then I go over here and it's like, oh, of course. The dog movie was like this. And it's like the only movies misplaced. Same like 2 days ago where I came here, the only movies, the only books that were misplaced were the books that all had to do with girls. And if you look at that video, you would realize that there's something going on, a very particular, peculiar, common theme that is not normal or natural. Now, I would like to explain why and how that's not natural, but I think I already did. Because it's all matching up with my internal monologue, which they shouldn't be able to know anyways, right? I mean, if every single, now believe it or not, see that old girl over there? she was just being dragged by her mom. I don't know if I filmed it in time for you to see fully. I said in a video yesterday, they want me to feel dragged. They'll literally be around me and try and make a boy start holding his girlfriend closer, or a girl start holding her boyfriend closer. And they always time it out in very peculiar ways where they're trying to make me like, it's like they're schizophrenic or delusional. I know it sounds weird because I probably sound schizophrenic or delusional, but trust me, if you watched all my videos, you would understand how I'm not like that. I'm not schizophrenic or delusional. In fact, the humanity would be better off if I was in some weird way, but I'm actually not. So, I bet there's probably going to be some weird stuff about Easter going on recently. Like, even, I don't know if you saw in some of the other videos, where I just see a bunch of people, like, all standing like that, and it's right when I talked about it. Now, imagine if in your head you said, I wonder why everyone's standing with their arms behind your back, and you noticed that, like, 1 out of 100 people stand like that. Then you started seeing, like 3 or 4 to 5 people out of 100 standing like that. Like, the other day, like, one day, all the cards were rearranged in order properly, except for one that said Dad and a unicorn. And again, imagine you think that there's people rearranging stuff around the store while everyone thinks you're schizophrenic or delusional, and then you go to the store and there's literally a unicorn and a stuffed animal in the baby carriage aisle. And imagine you think that there's people trying to make you into a little girl or a dog, and all of a sudden you see a dog in a baby carriage, and you see a couple of them. Now imagine even further that, oh, this is the aisle you're in? Okay. Now imagine even further that you think in your head everyone is doing all the stuff I've talked about, and you see a trans woman with a dog that's in her driver's seat right when you pull up to Taco Bell, and it's the same people that wanted to make you think Taco Bell was like the Illuminati. Which, like the new Morning Order commercial, they've tried to insinuate so many crazy things on me. And it's crazy to think that they can get away with it when they really can't. I mean, they've tried so many ways. Like the girl that came up to me, that she wanted to offer me a drink and a real estate job, and 2 days before, she was trying to tell me to pick up trash, and it was my orders to do it. And that she told me her son, I mean, she literally told me, I've mentioned this before, that her son is Jesus Christ. And then she starts saying, pray to Jesus. Like, I am Jesus Christ. I am reporting on how all this stuff is crazy. And who else would the lizard people and the devil be after but Jesus Christ? If you want to save humanity with me, you have to understand this is a plead and not cry, but a plead for help to show this to conspiracy theorists. Show this to your mom or dad. Show this to your brothers and sisters. And if someone doesn't notice the evidence at all, it's likely one of them, and don't be violent, don't commit any crimes. The way to win this war, believe it or not, is by getting God to want to help humanity. I need people who aren't violent. I need people who are mindful and grateful and forgiving and loving and caring and understand I'm in my human disguise. And I have disclosure coming out soon to prove that all this stuff that's going on, not in this aisle, but I mean, the other day, you should have seen there was a girl with a shirt that said God on it, and I always talk about Stitch. Well, for a while I was talking about Stitch, and there was a girl with a shirt that said God and another shirt that said Stitch on it. I mean, combine that with all the other stuff I talked about in my other videos, and there's like 80% more proof in other videos. You should watch those. And I'm not just trying to get you to watch my videos, but at the same time as I am, because this is, I don't want to sound like just some crazy guy screaming at you. Because I'm actually being real with you, where this stuff is more than real. It's crazy. So, please, I know it sounds crazy that Jesus Christ will be on the internet, but think about it. What am I going to do? Based on what I'm saying, what am I going to do? Talk to these people? Get them to pray? And even if someone showed up at your door at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, said, hey, I'm Jesus Christ, would you like to talk about me? You'd probably call the cops. So, I can't really reach out for anyone but the internet. So, think carefully before you want to say I'm just some YouTuber. I mean, am I a YouTuber? Technically. I also read it. But that's because I'm trying to find people who can actually believe me and be like, well, why would Jesus Christ be like that? Because you've all been led astray in my name, and Satan wants you guys to think I'm some magical, crazy person when I'm less magic than you think. And Satan tried to make it so that you guys would think I'm like some person who could make bread fall from the sky and come down on a horse and fucking snap my fingers and just do anything. And I'm sorry to swear, but it makes me angry. Imagine if you wanted to save people and you came back and they expect you to be like 1,000 times greater than you really are, when it's not greater. Making bread fall from the sky isn't going to save the world. Warning people and proving that the Illuminati is. So, share the video and please leave a comment, because if you think I'm crazy, I'm going to assume you're one of them. I mean, I would know if you are or not, but still, it's like a figure of speech.